Well, by now you certainly know what that beautiful song means. That's right, it's another episode of Family Matters right here on our flagship 99.1 FM Talk Fox News Radio, as well as our sister station KCMY 1300 AM and now 102.5 FM throughout all of northern Nevada. Family Matters is also heard on other stations throughout the great state of Nevada and is hosted by none other than Kim Surratt.
Welcome. This is Kim Surratt with Family Matters. We've been working on the topic of adoption, and last session we dealt with adoption from the perspective of a social worker, and we had two different adopting parents on the show who talked about their perspective of the process of adopting. But today I have a wonderful guest, somebody who I look up to and who I consider to be a great mentor. His name is Eric Stovall. He's an attorney here in Reno, Nevada, who specializes in adoption. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Kim.
Introduce yourself.
My name's Eric Stovall. I'm a lifelong Renoite, born and raised here. Went to Worcester High School, went to University of Nevada, Reno. Also went to Nevada School of Law when it was here in Reno. I've been practicing since 1987.
Not very many people know about that School of Law. I know a couple of attorneys. I've actually worked for one that went to that School of Law, but how many years did it run here in Reno?
I want to say it was open for 7 or 8 years, but most everyone who graduated passed the bar right away, became lawyers, and even we've had several area judges that are old college Nevada School of Law alumni.
That was a big deal because we didn't have any other School of Law in the state of Nevada at that time, and now we have one in Las Vegas, but we haven't had another one in Reno since.
No, and we never will again.
Yeah. All right, Eric, how long have you been doing adoption work?
I started doing adoption work in 1995, totally by chance. I've never done any type of divorce work or family law. I just happened to meet a nice lady, and she at a seminar, and she said, "Eric, we're opening an adoption agency in Nevada. Would you come and be our attorney of record for our new adoption agency?" And I said, thanks so much, but I can't do that. I don't do adoptions. I've never done adoptions. And she said, well, okay. And a couple of weeks later, she called me up and said, Eric, we've been talking. We would really like you to be our local attorney. And I said, thanks, but I don't even do any family law stuff. I've never done an adoption. You need to find someone else. And then the third time she called me up again a couple of weeks later and said, no, we really want you. And at that point I said, fine, I'll learn whatever it takes and I'll do your adoptions. And that's about, somewhere between 900 and 1,000 adoptions ago.
That's a lot of adoptions.
Yeah, I do between 90 and 100 adoption cases a year.
Per year?
Right.
And what other qualifications do you have for adoptions? Are you part of organizations or, and actually we should probably talk about it for the sake of the public. Nevada Bar is a little unique in that we only have a certain finite number of specializations that we can have in the state. I consider you a specialist, but the state bar is a different story because you have to have a test to be able to take, and they don't have one specific to adoptions, correct?
That's right. The state of Nevada doesn't have a specialty for adoption attorneys. However, there is an organization that was established in 1990 called the American Academy of Adoption Attorneys. It was organized to provide a specialty outlet for attorneys who are indeed specializing in adoption matters.
How many attorneys do we have in the state of Nevada that are part of, it's the American Academy of Adoption Attorneys. For short, we call it Quad A. But how many do we have in the state of Nevada?
I believe I'm the only one in northern Nevada. There's 3 in southern Nevada.
Okay. So
it's very, very small. There's only 330 attorneys in the Quad A in America, and a couple of them also in Canada.
Okay. And I call it a sister organization to that, but I don't know what we really should call it. But the American Academy of Assisted Reproductive Technology Attorneys is what I'm a part of, and that coincides with Quad A, correct?
That's correct. It's I think a sister organization is correct, and it's largely made up of attorneys who some of which do a lot of adoption work, but they're primarily in the assisted reproductive technologies area. And but it's similar to Quad A for adoption attorneys in that it has very high standards. Not every attorney can just join it. You have to be invited to join, and you have to have a lot of qualifications in the area to in order to get invited.
Okay, and so same thing with Quad A. So what qualifications did you have to become a fellow with Quad A?
Well, you have to have at least 50 adoption proceedings under your belt before you can apply for membership or apply for an invitation to Quad A, including at least 10 interstate placements. You also have to have at least 5 years of bar membership. You also have to be recommended by other colleagues in both the Quad A and outside the Quad A, and also judge recommendations are considered.
Can the public find out who is a member of Quad A?
Yes, it's very easy for the public to find out. They can go to our website, adoptionattorneys.org, and you can click on any state in the union and find out what attorneys are Quad A attorneys in that state.
Okay, so in this radio program is meant to help the general public with pursuing matters. We're calling it Family Matters because we're talking about family formation and all sorts, and we're talking about divorce matters. But for the general public, what's the benefit for them? Why should they go to a Quad A member first when seeking legal advice for an adoption?
There's nothing in usual bar classes, law school classes that have to do just with adoption. It's really a specialty, and the only way you learn it is being involved in it. For the general public, just to call just any attorney in the book that might do family law doesn't mean that they understand the many complexities of adoption law. And I've had many calls from people who've talked with attorneys and have just gotten wrong information, well-meant advice, but wrong advice from attorneys who just don't understand adoption law as well as they should. And these people will oftentimes do the wrong thing, have the wrong procedures done in their case, spend money that they really don't need to for an adoption that isn't working out right. And I've had many cases where I've had to pick up the pieces of an adoption gone bad and get it set back up the right way and finish it up.
This is Family Matters with Kim Surratt, and over all objections, we will be right back.
You're funny.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd with Nevada Matters Media. We'd like you to get involved with us right now on Fox News Radio 99.1 FM Talk, mother station for all of the Nevada Matters media shows, along with the sister station, KCMY, that's 1300 AM and 102.5 FM, Cowboy Country, right here in the great state of Nevada. Get a hold of us by giving us a call at 775-827-8900. Again, that number is 775-827-8900, or why don't you visit us on our website, that's nevadamatters.us, and learn just how easy it is to advertise your business locally right here in northern Nevada. Thanks for listening to Nevada Matters Media.
Hi, this is Debbie McCarthy with Nevada Matters Media, and I'm sitting here with our very own Eddie Floyd. Eddie, I was wondering if you can tell us about My Journey Home of Nevada and their program for computers for our very own veterans and everybody else.
You know, Debbie, I'm glad you asked. As a matter of fact, My Journey Home of Nevada can be reached at 775-825-8118, and thanks to the host of The Wounded Veteran Bill Thomas, Tipping Point, Boone Cutler, and SITREP with Dr. Robert Primo, I've got to share with you right now, they are going to be responsible for giving all the training necessary for a veteran if someone will sponsor that veteran by writing a check for $150 for a computer, mouse, monitor, keyboard, and all the training they need. Get a hold of My Journey Home today. That number is 775-825-8118. We are back now, right here on our flagship stations. That's right, 2 stations. KKFT, which is 99.1 FM Talk Fox News Radio, our flagship, as well as the sister station, KCMY, Cowboy Country, heard on 1300 AM and now 102.5 FM throughout all of northern Nevada, as well as other stations here in the great state of Nevada. Let's get back to Family Matters, hosted by Kim Surratt.
This is Kim Surratt here with Eric Stovall, and we were just talking about the American Academy of Adoption Attorneys, and Eric is a fellow with that academy. And Eric, now I want to talk a little bit about, we're talking about the academy, and it covers the entire United States and has members in various states across the United States. And are there, for the general public that's looking into adoption, should they look for somebody different to help them with an international adoption versus a interstate adoption versus one that's just within the state that they live?
Yes, they should, and that's one of the good things about Quad A is that the different types of specialties, whether it be international or interstate or intrastate adoptions, is listed for each attorney. So if you're going to try to find an interstate adoption attorney, and you're going to work with, let's just say, the state of Wisconsin, you can go to that site and you can pick out attorneys, Quad A attorneys who do interstate adoptions. So there's no guesswork. Same with international. You want to find an attorney that specializes in international matters, you can find that on the Quad A website as well.
Why do people go to international adoption as a choice?
Well, it varies from family to family, and usually people who are looking to adopt are really just trying to build a family, and they're trying to help out some child who's in need of a family who wouldn't otherwise find it. And some people are called more to their local community. Other people are called to try to find a child someplace else in America. And in the same way, other people are just called to try to find someone internationally in a foreign country to find a child that needs a family and adopt that child. And it really varies, and there's no right or wrong. It's just different people feeling different things.
Does it ever have to do with the age of the child? Is it easier to get an infant internationally versus locally?
I don't think there's any real difference as far as ages go. Infants are always harder to adopt than older children, but there's certainly adoption opportunities available for all age children.
You say it's easy. Is it easier to adopt older children? Is that what your statement was? I sound like a lawyer's statement was.
Yes,
your testimony is.
Yes, Kim, that it can be easier mainly because those older children have less demand for them. There's a lot of people who are wanting to start a family, and maybe they can't have children naturally or through artificial insemination or some other type of family formation. So they want the experience of an infant. All the I guess they want to get up at 3 a.m. and do feedings and change diapers. If that's what they want, then that's great, and they can find an infant to adopt. Other people, maybe they already have the children naturally or adopted children that are infants, and they're still trying to grow their family, but don't want to have an infant. They want to have an older child, and those possibilities are out there, and usually a little more. A few more opportunities with an older child, just because there's a lot of people who are wanting infants.
For interstate adoptions, is it easier for them to find an infant if they were looking locally versus willing to take a child from any state in the United States?
Not necessarily. I guess it depends on your locale. If you're in a major metropolitan area, then sure, there's going to be more adoption opportunities available to you. But, with the age of the internet, everything is much smaller than it used to be. And finding a child in Nevada is probably no more difficult than finding one in Virginia if you're in Nevada. It just doesn't matter anymore.
Are interstate adoptions more difficult from a legal perspective as an attorney?
Yes, they are. There is a part of the law called the Interstate Compact for the Placement of Children Act, or we call it ICPC. And